like I would unravel at any moment. People continue to commend me for showing strength through the crisis, but I wish that I could tell them the truth, because sometimes all I wanted to do is to end it all. The devil would tell me you won't come back from this. I was sitting in my bedroom one day, there was a bottle of Dettol in the bathroom, and the thought came very strong, just drink it and die. What's the point? The whole world is laughing at you right now, just end it. I struggled to keep the pain from taking over by reminding myself of God's promises. Hadn't he brought me this far? I hadn't felt strong in the beginning, or like there were a lot of options available to me. In fact, each time I remember Pastor Obi's words, I would picture myself with a Bible in one hand and a pen in the other. Don't blame me, I grew up in a Methodist school. But I have come to learn that we are all preachers and our lives are sermons. And it's up to us to decide what the sermons say. Just going to stop right there.
Okay, so what were the challenges you faced after releasing the book? What were the lessons you learned?
I think I wasn't ready for. I was very scared. You know, I have to be honest. I don't think everyone thinks there was this plan. You know, she kept quiet for this 1 year and had this plan to write a book. I didn't know I was writing a book. You know, it was the last thing on my mind. All I was doing at that time that people thought I wasn't saying anything was I was literally trying to survive. You know, I had good days, I had bad days, and sometimes I would just record on my phone, you know, voice notes just to talk to yourself about the kind of day you had, and you know, just remind yourself that you're not going mad. Because sometimes, you know, you just remember something and it's like something is walking in your head. You know that sort of pain that just makes you stop in your tracks and you're thinking, damn, I have choked in my life. You know? So there were times when I would just record in my phone and I would, you know, find myself taking down how I felt. And the days that I had bad days, I would just completely let it take over me because there was no point in fighting it. And the days that I could smile, I would, you know, be the best person around and I would smile as much as I can. Writing about my parents' loss was one of the hardest things for me because I realized that there were so many emotions and feelings that I didn't even know I still felt. You know, it's so funny how we deal with things differently, and grief is a very funny thing. Something like grief, like you think you're alright, and then it starts to show up in different areas of your life. For some people, they become afraid to, you know, and you might not even know that that's where it's coming from. For some people, it's, you know, the lack of being able to make, you know, the right decisions. You keep going back and forth, and you just don't know why you find yourself confused a lot. And for me, I found out that I made a lot of bad choices in my life because I was angry a lot. But I didn't know that I was even angry. But I was rebellious and angry, and you know, just documenting all of that, I knew that this had to go somewhere. I knew that, you know, God had taken me through that process, not for me alone, but to share with people out there who can also sort of identify with certain things in their lives that they have been going through or they have gone through at some point, and just to have something that can also help someone in a time of despair, not to feel alone, basically. So, you know, I didn't always know it was going to be a book, but eventually I saw that I had something on my hands and I spoke to the people around me, and I remember calling Bob Montire, who was meeting in London Live Lagos evening, and I said, oh, you know, I have this, and he read it, he thought, oh, I think it's a book, you should totally do this. I was scared, and for me, the joy that came from the lessons that I learned and just to impact someone else's life, with all of that, overcame the shame. It overcame the stares or the judgment that I thought I would receive. Because when God gives you a vision, He provides how, you know, the mission to the vision, He provides how everything will work out. So I was confident in the fact that this was going to change someone's life. And for me, I had to really, I learned a lot, and I'm still learning. That's why the title is Overcoming, because I'm still a work in progress. But I remember listening to Oprah's TED Talk, and she talked about forgiveness in a way that I've never imagined in my life. And she said, forgiveness is letting go of the hope that the past couldn't make any difference. What that means is stop reaching out, forget it. Yes, you were raped. Yes, your daddy wasn't around. Yes, your mom died at a certain age. Yes, you know, this happened to you at some point. Acceptance is the first step to truly forgive yourself. And you know, when you begin to replay these things that happen, it weighs you down so much, and who needs that burden?
So a lot of people also want to know if you're going to tell how you came up. You just mentioned how you went through a lot of auditions and you tried. So do you have another book coming up? You just explaining how you also went through the child.
And Unbecoming is, if you look at the book, it's an open titled book because there's going to be many more of that title. So I'm hoping that one day we'll have Becoming a businesswoman or becoming a mother again. I mean, hopefully one day. I'm becoming a wife again, hopefully someday soon. So it's definitely I'm a work in progress and at every so I feel like writing about it now will be doing an injustice to it. You know, I want to write about it when, maybe at the point when I've established a couple of things that I want to do, and then I can now write about becoming, that media movie. But so it's still a work in progress. We're still working on that, and there'll be many more books to answer the question.
Countries, we have that perception that a woman would go to school, get her bachelor's and master's, and then the next step is marriage or get a good job. So do you feel age plays a major part in relationships?
I'm in my 30s and I don't want to be 20 anymore. I'm thankful for the fact that every year I add to my life, I never want to look back and think, oh, I wish I was 21 again. But if I could do it again, I'll just share with a lot of people who are in their 20s here. The 20s are your golden years, man. Things you stress about, girl, they would not even matter in 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. Those things that we think that if you don't have, you die. Or those things that we think that if they don't happen right now, you can never survive. When I sit back and think about things that I stressed about at some point, I want to slap myself again. I mean, at some point you were stressing about this, that boy didn't like you. I would say, with the world we live in right now, exposure is everything. You can find a 25-year-old well-traveled man who has, been around the world and is exposed. And he can get married at 25 and make it work. And you can find a 45-year-old man who will marry at 45 and he's still acting like a 19-year-old kid. Same with the women as well. You can find a 30-year-old girl who is immature and, a 25-year-old girl who's married and she is ready for marriage. I think it has to do with the mind. I don't think age plays, look at the kids we have today. The couple of kids we have today are so much smarter than we were. These days you have an 8-year-old working an iPad or a computer and you think to yourself, I'm still just trying to download something. And they know how to even help you around certain things. So exposure is what I would really say. Your mind is exposed. Sometimes you don't even have to world travel. You read the right books and you educate your mind and you're ready. Once you're ready, your mind will know. And if you do it for the right reasons, marriage is a very beautiful thing. But it didn't work, but I'm still a believer and I hope that it will happen for me again. That being said, I feel like where we have a lot of issues is a lot of people like to compare their behind the scenes with other people's finished products, and that's a problem. And let's be honest with ourselves in this room, we've all been there. There's one friend in your life that's doing better than you and it's made you think sometimes. It's made you wonder, child, is there something wrong with me? Why me? We're real. It's normal, but what I've learned to do with those feelings is channel it towards inspiring me to want to do better, be better. Because if you keep comparing yourself to somebody else's journey, you don't know their test. You have no idea. We can all look nice here, both, wear makeup, have a nice suit for the guys and wear nice, you understand? So it's very important that we begin to empower ourselves because my heart goes out to many people who are stuck in situations that, they can't make that change they want to. And it's a lie. The devil will play those tricks on you. Where would I start from? Almost start from somewhere. If you have to borrow to start a business, borrow, you pay back. Everybody has a rough and crazy story on how they started. Who would know that my sister had to give me this loan to start this and I didn't know I had to pay back. We just need to kill that shame culture. Those things that hold you back. What people say, I'm too ashamed to do some certain things. Girl, when the bills knock you very well, you realize that they have to be paid, and we need to begin to empower ourselves some more.
I don't know if you watched Toke's last YouTube video. She had a video about 5 things she couldn't afford right now. And she mentioned, fake friends and time wasters. So,
I said 5 things. What?
Amongst others. The other things were a Birkin bag. the other 4?
The very first one was Birkin bag. I mean, the bag was really, really nice. If I see people carrying it and admire them, I just can't see my money. I'm not from Ijebu, but maybe it's a part of me might be from there. It's too much, it's too strong. I can't just calculate the amount of money and pat with it. I'll probably not sleep well at night, so that I would think, geez, I could have used it to do certain things. So that for me, and that's not to, shame anyone who has a birthing bag. It's lovely, if you can afford it, why not? Treat yourself, you work so hard, take care of yourself. By all means, and some people might not be working that might be something else. And number two for me was fake friends. Because I feel like, we're at a point in our lives now where your company should define who you are. And it breaks my heart when I see people stuck in situations that they should have graduated from like 10 years ago. Like, how are you going to be having drama in 2017? You are backing yourself, fighting over what this person said, he said, she said. Like the other day I sat back and I was thankful for the fact that I can't remember when last my name was involved in talking said, which is, you have to say a prayer and thank God for that. Because it's just all of a sudden you find yourself gravitating towards like-minded people. I call them people of kindred spirit, people who inspire you and who push you to be better. If your clique of friends or clique of group of people you have on your VPN or WhatsApp or Instagram is all about who is sleeping with who does it, what does that? There's no motivation in there. And when I got on the radio, family was the toughest to prove to because they would always see you as that girl we all grew up with in this house, and it's like this radio thing, how much do you even pay? Are you sure you can pay your bills for this? It was hard. I had to take a pay cut. I had to look at myself and say, you know what, I can sit at this desk at the back and watch the sun go down every day. But I found my way. At some point, those people who were the biggest critics have now become believers. And I remember one time I was riding a car with my dad one day, and it was a magazine, and I was on the cover of the magazine, and he wound and I bought every copy from the vendor. And I reminded him that, do you remember when you thought what I did was not a job? And then he was giving all this, she's on the cover of it. And so when you worry about it, some people might be in here and their parents or family members are not going to support what they're doing, and sometimes they feel like it's not going to work. But I'll say to you, the onus is on you. If you have 5 hours to do what they want you to do, either medicine or banking or whatever, add 12 hours to open your goal. They need to actually see you doing something. Once they see that, I see this thing she's drawing, she made this outfit, she's doing this. They don't want to come out to tell you they're really making waves. But eventually, one day, you hear them say things here and there. So, in following your dreams and basically just doing the things that you're meant to do and what you're called to do here, just finding purpose. And for those who feel like they don't even know what they're meant to do, trust me, you not knowing is the first step to you finding out what you're supposed to do. At least you'll have better than those who are doing what they think they should be doing, which is not what they should be doing at all. So don't put pressure on yourself. I talk too much. I don't need to talk.
We love it. Okay, when I think of you, I think of someone that's confident, smart, strong personality. What are the things you did to improve your self-love, to become confident?
Because I feel like you can't really blame anyone because we were born into this thing. Not even just as Nigerians or Africans, in African Americans, just being a woman in general. The parents raised us. You guys got it easy growing up. It's right. So the boys could do absolutely anything. They didn't raise the guys because they didn't think that the boys needed raising. Men were just born and they were just leave the earth. After all, God gave everything to Adam. So who are you to not tell the boy, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this? But then you realize that we now begin to live in those confinements because we are already ashamed about certain things about ourselves. It was a big issue for me as well. Writing this book, just knowing that people are going to read this about me was enough to make me run. People will sit there and say, oh, you wrote this and exposed this person. But do you realize that I exposed myself first? Do you realize that it took a lot for me to even get to the point where I thought it was okay to write all of this and let the world know this about me? That's why every picture you see of a strong woman, she does not have like 3 children she's backing, or a calabash on her head. In all those pictures you see, those paintings they used to depict African strong women, they had to be with struggle. There was never a picture of just a woman just standing strong. She had to have like kids backing, a bicycle she's riding, a basket she's still carrying on her head, and she's backing 2 children. They will say that is the strength of a woman. God, the world is not going to end if you just admit as a man that you don't have the answer to this one puzzle. Nobody's going to look at you as less of a man. And we begin to put ourselves on all this pressure because we believe that at a certain age you must drive a certain kind of car. At a certain age you must have a certain kind of job. Even for the men. If a man is 35 and he does not have that job or that, he's a failure. Society tells you you are a failure. Even before the girl tells you she can't get you. Society has shamed you. They're like, this one, where are you to start? How can you want to talk to a babe when you don't have this? And for the women as well. They like to talk about the things that, that girl that is not married. Or that one that husband left here, Or, why do we do that? Or that one who, but that same girl has a PhD.
that same girl might have found the cure to cancer. Why don't we talk about the things that make it? Why don't you describe that girl with the turban as the one who found the cure to cancer? That one, yes. It's a lie. You have to talk about how, you know, her husband left her, and they start to whisper. And then how do you not expect her to open up? Because we feel that we're supposed to bottom everything up. But people have died. Okay, I'm not the only one, but what did you do with what happened to you? You lost a child. Whose life did you make better? How did you deal with the grief? Who did you talk to about it? No, because society says strength is in you just carrying on, and even when people try and ask you about it, you get offensive. It's high time we begin to change the narrative and we begin to have these conversations that make us come out more in a positive light. Men laugh at us women. Men think that we women were full of trouble. All they do is fight with no man. Friendship cannot work because they will still drag themselves down. And it's happening. And it's high time we now begin to stop ourselves from doing it. We all love gossip, yes, but you know, even as you're gossiping, be kind. You know, there's certain things that you should stop yourself from saying. You know, even if that person went through a divorce, so what? She came out on the other side. She's better than some of you that are living the hell daily. That's what she went through. That's your story. Every day you're living with her and act like, myself included. You know, we can begin to make better choices in the way we treat ourselves and in the way we're there for ourselves as sisters. You know, I would not say much to the guys concerning this because guys look out for themselves. When you see two guys that have not seen each other in 10 years, first thing they will ask themselves, my guy, how are you? Where are you? Oh, you're in this company, I'm here. What do you do for me? Before they even ask, are you married? That's probably the last thing. Maybe when they're about to leave, they're like, do you have kids? Maybe they just even saw it. Oh, you have kids? Yeah, I'm married, I'm not married. But we women, the first thing we ask ourselves, are you married now? How many kids do you have? You know, these are the things that we now use to gauge if the person is successful or not. At the point where I looked in the mirror, I said to myself, you know what? I never thought that I would get married at 30 and be struggling in the marriage at 31. But that's my story. Nobody plans to go through it, but it happened to me. So would I now be quiet when people are talking and feel like, what can I say? I have to remind you work out. Sorry, it didn't work out, but it's going to happen for me soon. So that's the attitude I chose to take, and I'm just not going to let that shame me. Because I know what I went through. People, I walk in a room and people will hug you, and you're like hugging them thinking, hey, it's Saturday, I'm hugging you. And they're like, yeah, it is well. No, I'll share with you guys. I remember going to church. You know what people call when this thing happened there? People you go to, they call like, I have one pastor, I have one friend. Come on, then I didn't want to sound like I didn't believe in this pastor thing. So my friend reached out to me. He's my pastor, just come and see him, he will pray, like that. And I followed her to the fellowship to that place. You know, I'm just walking in that place, just to see the amount of people look, just to know how people just come and tap me and say, this is God will restore, God will. And I just thought to myself, how? You know, people, this is my personal life household. It was one of the hardest things to deal with. By the time that I went to another church, and I don't know if the pastor knew who I was, but he walked straight to me from the podium. Literally just walked straight to me and put his hand on my belly and started praying. And it took everything in me to stop the guy from saying, I'm not barren. That can't change this issue. And then he's like, the lady beside me, when the pastor left, the lady beside me gave me tissue and like, don't worry, God will give you your own. Before this year, you'll have your own child. And you know, in their minds, that's why they thought I was going through what I was going through, or the one that said to me, maybe you should accept that child. You know, it's a child's head that calls another head. It took prayer, I'm not even going to lie, to get my mind right back. Because if I let it happen to me, I would have literally just quit my job and just relocated somewhere because it was just too much. You know, from people just thinking, they're sending me emails, maybe it's you, have you done this, have you done that, and you're thinking you don't even know what happened, but everybody will think they have a right to tell you what it is. So we have to begin to shame that shame. Accept your flaws. Accept things that happen to you. They happen. If you keep sweeping it under the carpet, it's only yourself you're hurting, and you never know why you're doing that. Just maybe it's not for you. Just maybe it's for somebody else who you meet along the line who is about to end it all because of that same situation. And you can be like, if I tell you that I've been through this, would you believe me?
And when did you know that it was time for you to chase your dreams and not hear what anyone else had to say?
That's a very... I had so many, by the way, because there were so many things that, you know, I was so sure that my career was going to start in London. I was so sure. If somebody had told me then that MTV would not hire me, and I thought, you know, I was so sure that all my family members have said this is not a career. When I hammer on MTV, you guys will not say you know her, and then I can show you. But even before then, I think that I've always been someone who's lived my life based. I'm a Scorpio. You know, I'm very determined. And I do what I want. You understand? Like like, I do what I want to do. I might fail, but I'm okay because I will brag about failing. It's okay. If I fail, I'll be like, yeah, that's me, I failed. It didn't work out. I'm right here, do you understand? And I think it's a rare quality that, we have as Scorpios. All other Scorpios can also attain to that. Not that other zodiac signs are not special, but I'm just saying. And I feel like, I like that you asked this question when you're 24, because when I was 24 too, I was impressionable. Girl, I thought I wanted so many things. I didn't even know what I wanted for myself. Do you understand? If a boy didn't call me back, that was the end of the world. That relationship must work. This guy will give me the dates. I shan't believe relationship. I was already in a relationship with the guy I married, and we threw all the rise and fall. All the signs. I was not seeing signs. I was just saying that you are not ready. I know you'll be ready one day. I need to tell you that you are going to love me. Do you understand? So it's very important for you to ask this question, because you have to do you. You have to not care about what people are going to say, because people are going to say anyway. If you fail, they will talk. If you win, they will question. Sorry, even Christ was judged. So who are you to sit there and think that everyone is going to, or the universe will just accept you? It's not real. We need to get real sometimes. Sometimes, and it's okay, because not everything you accept. There's some people that you don't understand, and you don't really accept their way of living, and it's okay. So when we say things, sometimes we feel like we're putting pressure on those people and those imaginary haters, or those people that we think are working at pulling us down. But the truth of the matter is, to somebody else, you might be a hater as well. Because you don't see life through their lens. It doesn't mean that they don't know what they're doing. Why I'm just going to say this to you is, it's important for you to, if you don't know what you want to do right now, don't beat yourself too much. And I would say it, people would think, but Mark, people open this at 25. That's Mark, we all cannot be Mark. Do you understand? Some people find out when they're 45. Some people when they're 50, because that's not going to be your portion, which is the same. But all I'm saying is, enjoy the now. A lot of us are not in the moment. We miss it, and these moments we cannot get back. I cannot get back my 20s when I was busy dying for one guy. Maybe I should have dated plenty boys so that I could. So you need to live in the now. Enjoy your golden years. If you want to start here, watch YouTube videos, find out about stuff, do your research about what you want to do. And live. Don't forget to live. And it's good to accept that we don't have all the answers. And it's good to try and fail. You never learn if everything works out for you. And the one that might now be a failure will now happen at the point where you cannot recover from feelings or things like that. So enjoy your golden years. Your aha moments will come when it's meant to come. For you, it might be, in what you're doing already. For you, it might be feeling, I tried this, but I don't know what I want to do. The fact that you don't know, you're already on the right path, because that's what wakes you up every single day, trying to pursue and trying to do different things till you find one that sticks. Do you know what I mean?
While you were talking, you talked about kind of doing something that you wanted to do, even though your parents don't initially agree with it. And I really resonate with that story, because in undergrad, I started pre-med route, and we all know doctor, lawyer are like the main things your parent wants you to be. But I realized that I was really interested in the mind, so in psychology. And I did pre-med for like 3 good years. I was failing classes, but I was like, I'm still gonna push through. But in my third year, I was like, you know what? I can't keep doing this. So I changed my major, I did everything I was supposed to do. I had started on that path, and then I told my parents, I've changed my major, it's now psychology. They were disappointed, it was horrible. Up until I got my master's, my parents were still not supportive of my career. Now I've gotten that, I've gotten my master's, I've gotten my license and doing things. They now see, I think my dad was the one who actually did his own research, and I was like, oh, what she wants to do actually makes sense. Like, she can do this, she can do that. He was now the one trying to connect me with people living in Nigeria, because I'm like, I don't just want to use my license here. I wanted to also translate to Nigeria. And so he's doing all that for me, and my mom is also supporting me. So when am I going to get that PhD? Now they want me to even go further. So also to anybody who is in here, whatever it is that you were doing, that you just do your research and then just push through, they will come around. The question, I know, but she said tell your story, okay? So the question, just on the book, like they say, hindsight is 20/20. So now you've gone through this, you've learned your lesson. what would you tell a young girl that might be in the same situation and is not seeing things clearly and is letting her heart determine what she should do? What would you tell her?
That's a very good question. If I could speak to my younger self, I would use myself, and anyone who may find themselves, if we talk about relationships now, in that relationship that you really think you must have. You see, we said it in here, your head never stops telling you the truth. It's hard to follow your head because we all know the hard ones, know the hard ones. We all know that, even when you know the person is bad for you, there's that voice that tells you, even be honest with ourselves, there's a voice that keeps telling you that this person you're with, this relationship you're with, is either you deserve better, is either they're not the right people for you, and doesn't make them bad people. It's high time we stop looking at relationships that didn't work out as, those people, they were there to teach you certain things, and your lessons are your blessings. It doesn't make them bad people. It might mean that the person is great for somebody else, just not for you. And their good qualities will never come to play as long as they remain with you. Same with you being with someone who you're not supposed to be with. There will be signs, but I think that if I'm going to talk to a 24-year-old girl who is in a Ashanti relationship, oh girl, a lot of people have been through divorces and they became a shadow of themselves, men and women. Some people even relocate. You keep on, you want that person that used to be, just that one situation, they couldn't get their life back. So before it gets to that place, it's very important that you know what you can take and be honest with yourself. That's what you know you cannot take. Don't hope that a person will change down the line. You're not put on this earth to change anyone. You're not God. You can't even change yourself. You do some certain things that still surprises you. There's certain things that I will do and I'll be like, okay, you say you're a Christian and you still do it. Let's speak, let's drop every other thing out there and be real. There's certain things that you do that you'll be like, no, but this will go to the grave with me. Because you can't even admit it to yourself that you did that. How much more are you trying to change somebody else? You're not supposed to be in your partner's life to change them. Influence is another thing, inspire them is another thing, but for you to think that this person is who they are, when people show you who they are, believe them. Don't start asking for another showment, like maybe you just show me one side, I'm not quite sure, maybe if I just stay. And we've all done it, and you have the energy at 24, so perhaps I can give you 2 more years. I'm going to be real here. We all need a bit of that in our lives. You need that one showman for men. That girl that will make you back outside her house that is cheating on you, that will deal with you. And as a girl, you also need someone that will wake you up to certain things, because those things, you learn lessons only from situations that you can only have gone through.
My question is, not the question yet, but I remember one of your videos, not on YouTube, on YouTube actually, you talked about God giving you this idea of a book, but you were like, you don't have the content yet. And then people were also like, telling you should write a book, where you're like, oh, I don't have the content. So that is something that resonates with me a lot, because, it's something I've experienced as well. You feel like God is giving you this book in your head to write, and you're like confused about the content, and everybody's telling you, oh, you should write a book. So my question is, how did you get clarity on the exact content? Like, how did you get to know that, okay, this is it, right? And what kept you motivated in the process of your writing?
Let's be honest, growing up, I remember when I was 7, that was the first time my mom took me to a revival. And I remember the pastor there said, pray that God will appear to you tonight. And I prayed and God didn't come, and I was upset. And I was angry growing up, like God doesn't like me, because I remember that night I was ready, I brushed my teeth, even before I closed my eyes, I said, God, I'm not able to come today. Because I was ready to meet with him, and he didn't come. And all my life, I would always refer back to that particular incident. When I hear people say, God will appear to them, I'll be like, this person is lucky, God really loves them, heaven is sure for them, God appears to them. It never happened for me. You hear people tell me how sometimes, because I started believing that when God is up to, there will be some theater involved, like there will be lights off, curtains pulling back, thunder, and I say, hi, God. Because that's how some of these modern day churches make it seem. All the things that they touch you, you fall down, say, and then the Holy Spirit says, God came to me and touched me, and you'd be like, God don't like me. You're going to so many people, but they don't. Remember, somebody said, I'll be praying me. So when is my turn? You see that there's something about me, okay, forgive me my sins and just come. But what I learned in my journey
is that God talks to us in ways that sometimes we don't even know that it's, because there's that still voice. Sometimes it's in conversation. It's not how you want it to happen, is my answer to your question. Because when I remember that year, it was 2016, and I remember waking up at the beginning of that year and I thought to myself, you know, oh, I'm going to write it. No, the word came to me, because every year I would ask the Lord, okay, what are we doing this year? You know, we did this is where we got to, this is also my dreams, where are you taking me to this year, basically? And I remember the thought of the book came, it was actually 2015, yeah. The thought of the book came there and there, but I couldn't dismiss it because I never wanted to write a book. I'll go to book launches and I'll be the one there yawning or taking selfies, thinking people just write books for like a status thing, you know, oh, I'm a writer. Or they feel at some point in their life they are meant to write a book. So I was the girl that would probably just be looking for where's the drinks at the back. Okay, this is the book. I've been to quite a number and I just didn't think, you know, it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with in my life. Because people go through certain things, so sometimes you're comforted with going through it in the comfort of your home and your curtains are closed and nobody really knows what you're going through. But to turn on the radio in the car and it's a radio station and they're arguing about what happened and what they think happened and who you stole and who you did not steal and how you're the witch and how because you're working so hard your marriage crashed and how he deserves to be with the person he's with because that's the person he loves from a picture. And you watch a TV show where 4 women are sitting there, they're just casting you and saying, she's the one, does she not know when she'll be going out? And you don't tell her to go out to work. Again, if I start alone, I'll be like, this is the man. Okay, I decided to work out so that I can support you and still a problem. So, you know, it was one of the hardest things I had to go through. I'd never even thought about the book in those moments because I was just trying to stay alive. You know, you walk into it got so bad that my boss literally came to work one day and says, you know what, I'm not going to lie that you've been the topic in meetings 3 or 4 times right now, so I'm going to make sure you go on a holiday so that people can stop talking about you at work. It was that bad. I'll step out of the studio and everyone will be quiet. And you can see people holding in the computer and they're reading something and you know it's your life. You know, it was one of the toughest things I had to go through. And even in the book never came through. I didn't even think of the book. I mean, how do you think of that? I went on days, you're just wearing powder just to hide the bags from crying. You know.
My question is, why do you feel like that Nigerian culture is so opposed to the idea of women going out and doing things on their own and being successful?
I think the pull-down syndrome is in every single culture. And I think that, you know, we as women, we share a bond so strong that it's different than where we're from, or our race, or what color our hair is, or where, because the problems we have, African-American women probably have some issues. And even with white women, okay, maybe you will say white people have white supremacy or whatever, but every woman has had to battle, especially when you're in a position of influence, they will come at you. Margaret Thatcher was probably not as wicked as the world made her, but she had to be that way because there were men that were constantly trying to undermine her. Because I don't think she deserved to be there. As a woman, how dare you be our boss? If you've had to work at a position where, you know, a lot of men work under you, you realize that things that men will do, they will get away with it. People will even applaud the men for doing it. But because you're a woman, you have to be tougher or come across as tougher because they're quick to remind you that your place is either in the kitchen or your place is either in the, you know, president or the other. And I feel like this is one of the reasons why this book also had to come out, because it's high time we women begin to not fight each other but fight for ourselves. The time we spend pulling ourselves down is appalling. And as I said, I think in my situation I feel like a lot of women felt how dare you, because that's the truth they're living and that's what they're going through. And for them it's, I mean, my situation, and I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be honest, I remember when I was still married, I went out with a couple of friends and we saw somebody who was just recently divorced and she looked hella good. And we all thought, you know, this girl is divorced, yeah, but somebody looked at her and people are talking as if we don't all envy her. Just look at if this is what divorce looks like. Do you still want to go back and say that? Just look at her, her skin is just shining and just, you know, she's just going on, you know? You know, we all laughed about it, but then when my own happened, I realized that that was what it was. So many of them are dealing with this same situation, some of them in even greater amounts. Some of them are being beaten, and they feel how dare you come out to say that your husband beats you when we chop beatings. Are you the only one? And then my question to them is, what did you do with your own? Oh, you still chop, is it not to your kids watch you die? And we are real with ourselves. It's even been in from time immemorial. I said it here, so many of us have mothers who are almost mad. Some of our mothers tried to shield us from the harsh truth. And that was also a disservice to us. Because many people now walked into this thing called marriage thinking that life is a bed of roses, because I never wanted my father to shout at my mother. Because mom just never let us see the issues she dealt with. And we now need to begin to expose such things and teach our daughters so that they themselves know, not that marriage is hell, but that it's a lot of work. And it takes two people that need to work at the same amount of, I can't be putting in 70% and putting in that it will not work. You can drag a horse to drink, it will not drink water if it's not thirsty. So it's a you and I combined, and we have to make the conscious efforts to do the work that marriage entails. It's a beautiful union.
I remember watching back in, I think, 2014, you had a video on Toke Moments. It was the gangster way to get over a breakup. And that video, it really inspired me. I was so inspired by your resilience. Resilience. I mean, yeah, because I was going through a breakup at the time too, and I loved it. So what would you advise women and men as well who maybe went through a breakup or even a failure in their business, career, they didn't get a certain job they wanted, their career didn't go the way they wanted it to. What would you advise them on how to maintain that resilient attitude?
Prayer has been a source of inspiration for me, and I like the fact that my relationship with God has progressed as my relationship. I don't look at it as God, and I look at it as the way you work at a relationship. Because sometimes we all know we want to do better. We all know we want to have that relationship with God, but sometimes we all feel as if, I really want to really do this thing called pray every day and just read my Bible, but life is enough to just throw me off. And I think that, someone said to me one day she was trying to sort of give her life to Christ, and she went to a church and just the kind of thing they told her, stop smoking. And I said to her, you know what? Let's be a bit real with ourselves. The pressure we put on ourselves, even with God, God doesn't put all that pressure on us. The Bible says that His goodness and mercy and joy, He's not sitting there striking you down. Because we should all be dead right now if it's really about striking down on certain things. I feel like with each year, I've known God even more than I knew Him last year. And it inspires me to want to know Him more, because I don't try to put pressure on myself. I accept that I'm flawed, I'm a sinner, and I will always be flawed. And sometimes all I just say is, God, please help me. And one thing that's always encouraged and helped me in terms of prayer is, I always think about the story of, I don't know if you guys are, even the Muslims have heard the famous story of Jesus by the well, with the woman he met by the well, who had been married 6 times. And the man she was living with was not even her husband. And, he asked her for a drink. Now, when we read those words, it just seems like Christ just, but then Christ could have asked the drink to rise up. He could have just commanded the well to give him a drink, and the well would have given him a drink. And the woman would have believed even more if she saw that. Because, sometimes we like to see gimmicks. That's what I'm talking to. People like, you need to do this. We like to see this curtain open, voice comes through, and then all of a sudden you feel like that is God. You could have just said to the well, give me a drink. And the woman there would have probably felt, I have seen the Messiah. But how many of us, if we really want to relate it to today, you realize that it's almost as true as we say Jesus was probably even trying to come across as a new man to her. To get her attention, he had to be what she understood. To get the attention of that woman, he came across to her as what she understood. I.e., she's promiscuous, the man in her house is not her husband. So in her mind, she probably thought this fine man, you are the next man I'm going to conquer. So when he asked her for water, she probably looked at him and thought, how can you speak to a Jew like me? He was probably flirting with her. And then he asked her, but I can give you something that if you drink from, you will never thirst anymore. What that did for her was, okay, I want to know this person even more. So sometimes we put ourselves under so much pressure with what the church is saying, or what the mosque is saying, or what this is saying. Finding God on your own is the greatest gift you can give to yourself. And finding it in your own capacity, because He already knows. Okay, so even if you are struggling to read your Bible, you just read somebody, God, please help me. I pray about things like that, and it's helped me as well. So prayer has been my source of comfort. I know I talk too much, but I'm paid to talk, so forgive me.
Thank you so much.